guys, hello. Just wait for more people to hop on. Hello. Looking like I look like a bum right now, like I'm wearing Nick's sweatshirt and stuff because my day has been nuts and today was a bad stomach day. So you guys get me at my absolute best today, my best looking. I know none of you will care though. Hello, Jamie. So, hello. I am going to get started. Anybody who hops in, who misses this, can go back and rewind and watch it when the recording's posted. So, today we're going to talk about energy. I have a few tips. I put up that post in the community page, and I saw a bunch of you guys had asked questions on there, and throughout the week, that was a number one concern, was energy. So, I figured what better topic than to make it the weekly topic. So I'm going to start with a question that was asked by Alyssa, and it's the top 3 things that are the most important for energy. Just my top 3 my biggest tips, right? It's really hard when you're dealing with hormone imbalance, but the 3 energy areas are mental, so like mental energy, food, hydration, and gut, and then sleep quality and time. Those 3 areas are super important for energy. And it's why a lot of people will say, they'll cherry pick different symptoms that they want to make better. And a lot of times people will say, I want to improve my energy. And it's hard because that ties in with weight, that ties in with the other symptoms as well. That once we work on these things, our energy increases because the part of our hormone balance that was causing us to be deficit in energy will go away. So there's no one clear-cut tip. Like there's no supplement I could recommend you or one thing you can do that will boost your energy. My hope is to give you a basic overview of the things that really matter. And then in our individual conversations, we can baby step which ones we tackle. So mental energy. There is a unit in the classroom that I really want you guys to go back and look at, even if you've seen it already. If you need a refresher, maybe if you think you don't need a refresher, it's still good to check up on. Sorry, I have my sticky notes here and they're not sticking and it's bothering me. So eat the frog. I have gone over this with a few people throughout the week. Again, and some people that I've been working with for a while, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's hard to adopt habits. But those of you who don't know what Eat the Frog is, definitely go watch that video in Classroom. The concept is, and to my veterans, just tune this out. But the concept is that if you had a big plate of food, and let's say it was your favorite food on there, and then you had this big old nasty toad, this big frog, and you had to eat the frog too. Would you first eat all of the great food that you love and leave that frog for last because you're dreading it? In the sense of reality and day-to-day life, probably. Guilty of it myself. But what if you tackled that frog, ate that frog, and then you were able to enjoy your filet mignon, your mac and cheese, your, like all of the other delicious things instead, and that's what you finished your meal with? Wouldn't that be a much just better meal? So that's the concept of how we organize our days. Mental energy, we are only given a certain amount of mental energy every day. To regenerate that mental energy, you need to sleep. So if you're spending your mental energy by noon every day, and then you still have the rest of your workday to get through, or you have just the rest of the day to get through, you have your home life, you have all the things around you as you look around that you're not doing, that you still have to do. It's easy for it to get really overwhelming. Eat the Frog starts with a list. And for this list, you want to have in one section, you want to have All of the things you absolutely must, like you'll get fired or your house will fall apart, like must get done that day. So you list that out. Then you pick one or two things that would really help and you'd really like it if you got done that day, and you add it to the list as well. So like if you didn't get to it, not the end of the world, but it would really be awesome if you could. Pick one or two of those and add them. The idea is to go into that list and see what's your frog? What are you dreading the absolute most from that list? And that's what you start with. Hang on. Again, I apologize. I'm under the weather today, so I am trying to pull it together as much as possible for this. My notes are good though, so you should be good. Once you have that list, it's not so much about your productivity for the day as much as it is having a backup. So if you burn through your mental energy by noon, let's say, when you go and you're like hitting that wall and you're like, I don't know what the hell to do. I have so much to do and I can't think of one thing. Or I feel like I've been going all day and I don't even know what I've gotten done. Tell me if you guys have ever felt that way. That's when you have your list to fall back on. That's when you can go to your list and say, oh, wow, I actually did X, Y, and Z. Or, oh, wow, okay, so I know I have X, Y, and Z to do. You're relying on your brain at the start of the day, before your mental energy was gone. You're relying on that brain to direct your day, which isn't that a lot more reliable a brain than like noon to 3 p.m. brain? You know, burnout brain. So it saves you even more stress because typically if your mental energy was spent come 12 p.m., you'll be freaking out. Like you have so much to do and you feel so drained. This isn't even factoring in the actual fatigue that comes with these illnesses. So having that list is so much more than just a to-do list. It is a guide on how to pace your mental energy. Okay? So that is huge. Just reviewing the comments here. I'm under the weather too, so I feel you. Oh, we're in this. Yeah. So having that is just your framework for your day. It's going to save you a lot of stress. Also, even if you didn't spend your mental energy yet, having that guide, you can go through and know exactly what you have left. So you don't have to have that anxiety of like, oh my God, I'm forgetting something or I'm not prioritizing this correctly. You know, you have it written out for you. I also recommend if you get overwhelmed throughout the day to go back and review that list or edit it if you have to. Overwhelm typically is because it's all up here and it's not written out. The second you write out what you actually have to do, it immediately is like less. It becomes a monster in our head and it's doable on paper. So just keep that in mind, okay? Now this also helps you save stress. Stress is killer on hormones. I say this all the time. Stress is worse than eating a hot fudge sundae to us. And that's because the whole slew of hormones that get released when you are stressed that linger even after the problem is done. So I have here some of my favorites that I've said in the past in terms of just mindset to think of in moments of worry, especially right now, because I can't tell you the panic that I'm seeing with coronavirus and everything like that. You know, it's some scary shit, guys, you know, and it's not even like it's scary what it actually is, but the mass panic that's happening is even scarier because it's hard not to get wrapped up in that energy, you know, and it's just very tense. So I want you to think of my Armageddon example, those of you who have been with me for a while. And for those of you who are new, I will go over it again. Armageddon, who's seen the movie? The cheesiest movie of all time. But it's just so classic, like schmoozy, like the kind of 90s love romance movie. I love it. But the concept is this gigantic meteor is headed for Earth, and good old Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck have to head on up and stick a nuke on that meteor and blow it up before it decimates Earth. Okay? So, there's nothing any of us can do. It is entire, like, once they leave the friggin' earth, that's all we can do is wait and hope. So the majority of people would probably be glued to their TV, watching the news, waiting for the word that everything went well. You know, yay, Earth is saved. But either way, if we don't hear from them in like 12 hours, we'll either be blown up or not. So many people would be glued to their TV or on the radio, whatever, trying to find updates. People would be making memes all over Facebook. I want to say I'm kidding, but I'm not. So my question to you is, why wouldn't you spend that time where you have zero control of anything at all, enjoying talking to people you haven't talked to in a while? Shit, I'm sure Disney's shut down. Go hop the gate and go enjoy. You know, do something like not worry. Because people think that worry makes us sharp. They think that stress makes us diligent. But at the end of the day, that's a false sense of comfort. It's not what's making you diligent or sharp. It's actually making it harder for you to be diligent or sharp because it's spending all your mental energy on something you can't do anything to change. So remembering the Armageddon example is how many people would spend that time trying to just be with their loved ones, trying to be happy, thinking of different things. You know, those people, when hour 12 came and we're okay and we're still here, you know, those are not going to be the ones that are like super, super traumatized from that event. The ones that have been stuck in worry, and this is coming from me. I mean, I'm OCD, panic disorder, and I was a worrywart my entire life. You know, that lingers, that sticks with you. That immense amount of stress really takes a toll on your body, and that's bodies who aren't ill. Like, you know, that's like regular old bodies, and it's still a lot on them. So keep that in mind, you know, as you're battling your body and you're feeling like no energy. Are you really doing everything you can to manage your stress? Because you can't get rid of a stressful situation. Nobody created Armageddon, you know, and you're going to try our best to work it out like you always do. But what difference is worrying going to make in if you blow up the meteor or not? You know? So it's just a little mindset. It's not the end all be all. It's something to think about. Now my circus, not my monkeys is another favorite phrase of mine. And that I find is really hard because we tend to be overprotective, over nurturing, but also overly competitive with ourselves, wanting to always go above and beyond. What, to a degree, we want to help the people that we're going above and beyond with, but we also make it a personal thing. Like, if I can't be the best me, I suck. If I can't be the person that somehow can always do what someone asks of them. You know, at work, I have my own workload, but I always take on anything anyone asks me to help them with. If that's you, or if you take on other people's negativity, other people's drama, if you feel some deep responsibility to someone else being in turmoil or being upset in a situation. Now, I'm not saying become a sociopath and don't give a shit about the people you love. But I'm saying, like, if you're that person, and I used to be, that you feel responsibility for things that are not your responsibility a lot simply because you have the capacity to help, even if it puts you behind. Remember, not my circus, not my monkeys. If there is a problem at work, and it seems like if you don't say yes, everything is going to fall apart, yet it is not your job. Your boss didn't even ask you to do it and take it on, but you feel compelled to say yes. Remember, not my circus, not my monkeys. If this business falls apart because I don't take on someone else's job, not my circus, not my monkeys. It sounds easier said than done, but the more you get comfortable with it and the more you see that when you say no and you say not my circus, not my monkeys, things turn out okay, the easier it will be. And the less people will expect you to say yes. We set the bar at what we tolerate. So if you are the good old reliable, just leave it all up to so-and-so, you know, leave it all up to Sally. She'll say yes even if she's got other shit going on or she doesn't feel well. That's because that is the bar that's set. To reset that bar, not my circus, not my monkeys. You don't have to be an ass about saying no either. You can just be like, you know, I'm working on this. I'm not going to be able to get to that in time. Is there anyone else you can ask? That's it. Chances are they'll just keep it moving and find someone that can do it. And it won't be you. And that's okay. You'll save your mental energy. Taking breaks. Guys, I know that life is stressful and you go and get into this momentum where it's just go, 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 go. Because if I stop, I'm going to start thinking of how shitty I feel, how tired I am, how anxious I'm feeling, how insecure I'm feeling. Breaks are not a waste of time. Breaks are what keep you at your best for longer. Think of taking breaks. And I'm not saying like a half hour, an hour break all the time. That's just not doable in the workplace, you know. But I'm saying take like 2 minutes to close your eyes and deep breathe a little. Go get an extra glass of water, even if you have one at your desk, just to get up and go walk around a bit. Taking little breathers are what helps you stay at a good level for longer versus burning out. It may feel like you're stopping and you're spending time that you should be spending working. But if you're at that kind of stress level or burnout level where it's hell to even get you to work at all and you can't even think, then what does it matter if you take a couple minutes, honestly, if it ends up helping your work performance? You know, so keep that in mind. What else do I have here? 5-5. The 5-5 rule, and without getting too in-depth in that because I don't want to chew up too much of this time, go in the page and look up the 5-5 rule video. It's a short little one dedicated just to 5-5. It's my favorite coping tool, or I guess you can say it's like a grounding tool that I use when I'm in the beginning of the stress stage. If you're having a full-blown anxiety attack, I don't want you to think I'm patronizing you by telling you to go look at the 5-5 rule, but a lot of times it can help you if you're teetering on the edge of just spiraling into panic. It helps you pull yourself back and ground yourself in the minute. So, and it takes like a minute to do. So definitely go check that out. Let me check the comments. Corona is scary, but am I the only one not worried? No, I think a lot of people are not really worried about it. I'm a little bit scared because like I'll die if I get it because of all my other issues, but I'm also not worried because I stay home in the winter. I've been fighting off flu season. Like for immune suppressed people, I feel like we haven't been playing like Russian roulette with our lives. We know to stay our ass at home in the winter time, and like I'm already a germaphobe, so I feel like this is the one time. I told my therapist the other day, I was like, I'm prepared. Like I'm already a little crazy, and now everyone else is crazy, so no one can notice how crazy I am. But I'm not worried. But someone coughed directly into my face. I would have said something. 100%. I wouldn't have been able to contain myself. My therapist, actually, she's had a cold for the last 2 sessions I've been to see her, and she was better this week, like a lot better this week. But I sat down and like in the middle of her sentence, she couldn't control it and a cough came out full on open mouth into her little room. And I just looked at her probably in horror and I was like, could you please cover your mouth? I'm a little uneasy. Everyone's crazy. I don't have to worry about not being crazy anymore. So this is so me. Oh, the picking up everyone else's slack kind of thing. Over helper. Yeah, for sure. Like even if someone, like a friend comes to you, even if it's not like a great friend and they're having issues with their relationship, they're really upset, they're really down in the dumps, they're needy. There is something in our nature that makes us feel like we have to give. And you sure don't. There are therapists out there, you know, so don't feel bad. That's the distinction, is you are not the end all be all. I had to learn this because I felt, especially before going into coaching, because I love you guys, but you guys all know this by now. There is a limit of what I push to, and then I say, okay, it's choice. Not my circus, not my monkeys. But before, like I had to spend time on working on the, like, I have to make everything better for everyone part of my life, which has kind of led me here. And it really is like, you have to realize if you don't help, it's up to that person to continue their pursuit of help. It is not up to you to have to be obligated to end that pursuit. If they need to, they can go to therapy. They can find a way. You know, everything is figure outable. Look at all of you. You've all invested your time, your money, your efforts into being here. Probably none of you even asked for help before. So keep that in mind. Caring too much is definitely me. I found to remind myself to be selfish sometimes. And yeah, absolutely. Remember, there is selfless. It's a spectrum. There's selfless, there's selfish, and there's self-focused. Self-focused just means you're not going to put yourself last all the time. And if that upsets other people, again, they can go to therapy about it. You know, selfish is one extreme, but selfless is the other extreme. And you're going to be the one hurt in the end, you know? So, okay, 5-5 rule. We love it. I will go back through this and answer anything that I didn't in comment form for the sake of time. Okay, so because I want to move on to hydration, food, and gut. So there is a lot of stuff on this in the classroom as well, different videos on gut health and stuff. I don't want to waste time diving into that when you can watch it. But I want you to remember, when we do things for our gut, and if you're new and we haven't discussed this yet, don't get overwhelmed, okay? Text me about it. But when we talk about the gut and all the food and all the different things that go to balance it, at the end of the day, the main ones you want to focus on, if you do nothing else, even if you don't focus on carb cap or whatever, gluten and sugar and dehydration. Now, those of you who are not yet at those baby steps, do not go all gung-ho on me and be like, oh, gluten-free tomorrow, because it's part of the process. I want to teach you how to get into that gradually so it doesn't suck, okay? But when we eat gluten, oh God, I'm just going to say it. When we eat gluten, it really does, it wrecks our gut. Like it's not digested properly. And when that happens, it causes mass inflammation. Mass inflammation means your body is working twice as hard for no damn reason all the time. It engages your immune system, which if you have Hashimoto's specifically in here, it means that your Hashimoto's becomes engaged. So your thyroid continues to get killed off, which makes you more tired. Sugar causes an intense spike in insulin, the hormone that is made to break down the food you eat. It causes a huge spike in insulin, and then it drops you. And the hormones that come with that spike and drop lead to insulin resistance, but also it takes such a toll on your body because you're not supposed to rise and drop with those amount of hormones in that short a time. So the more you have that bounce, the more exhausted you're going to feel. Sugar crash is a hormone crash. So keep that in mind. And dehydration. I'm trying to think how I want to word this, because I never ever used to drink anything. Like, I could go all day and not drink anything. I just wasn't thirsty. Sorry if you can hear my dogs. So for me, it took me years. Like, I could sit there and I could diet like the best of them for weeks on end before I would binge. But I couldn't drink water to save my life. I cannot tell you the difference that actually drinking water has made in my life in general. And I don't just drink plain water. Go watch the hydration highlight on my Instagram, and I show you my method of how I sneak a lot of water in. And I use like flavor drops for mine. The goal is half of your body weight in ounces of sugar-free, caffeine-free fluid per day. The goal. Now, if you need to work up to that, that is okay. Take small steps. You know, I can't even express to you. You're going to feel a difference in your energy pretty quickly. Your digestion will balance out more. You will notice your skin being just completely different. You'll feel younger. It'll help clear your skin. It helps with hair growth. It helps with hair thickness. Helps with metabolism, with salt intake and blood pressure, with fluid retention, so your body doesn't hoard and hold on to any hydration you put in it. It helps with the puffiness in your face and neck, if you experience that a lot. And it's not anything, it's not like you're cutting out food. It's not like you're, dieting for that result. It's just you're putting enough fuel in the tank. It's like driving a car up a steep hill on the fuel reserves after you hit empty versus having a full tank. I mean, just makes sense to make it as easy as possible. If your body is already imbalanced and it's already fighting so hard to do so much, it only makes sense that we help it out and we give it all the fuel that it needs to get us the results we want, right? It helps in so many ways. And I'm telling you, I am not one of those like water preachers forever kind of girl. Like I was the one that would get yelled at by people all the time. Like, my God, you never drink something. Or I'd get a random migraine or random headache and people would be like, did you drink enough? And it was never yes, like ever, Hydration. If there's one thing I can get across to you guys is how great hydration is once you make it a habit. And it's hard getting there, but it's worth it. So, I know that's not nearly as detailed as mental, but I don't want to give away too much because we're all at different baby steps in here. But go review in classroom that unit. Okay, and go look at my hydration highlight on my Instagram. All right, sleep quality and time. Okay, there's a few things here. One is caffeine, particularly coffee. Again, I'm smiling because I feel like some of you guys give me death glares through the other screen, and I get it. I used to be a coffee lover. I grew up drinking espresso. I was a kid of immigrants, so like the coffee was part of the culture, like all the time. Now, caffeine. Again, I have a video in classroom, so I don't want to spend too much time getting in depth on this. But if you are drinking caffeine first thing in the morning, like a big burst of it first thing in the morning, whether that be matcha, coffee, whatever, as soon as you wake up, you need to pound that caffeine. You are not allowing your body to release the natural cortisol that it needs to release to get you energized for the day and keep your cortisol cycles fluctuating normally to then allow good sleep. Our mornings set forth the day, and that sets forth the night, and that sets forth the day. It's all a cycle. So we need to look at in the morning, first of all, if you have a hard time breaking away from coffee completely, it's okay. Baby steps. What I recommend to you, and this goes for anyone, is if you're going to have caffeine in the morning, try your hardest to wait 2 hours after waking up. This allows your own natural cortisol cycle to start. Because if you have caffeine in your system, your body's like, oh, we don't need energy. We have another stimulant. No need for cortisol. And it screws you up. So give yourself that time in the morning for your body to click on. Also, what a lot of people don't think is that they're dehydrated when they first wake up. You were just sleeping for X amount of hours. You weren't consuming any liquid. So most people are very dehydrated in the morning, especially if you didn't drink enough the day before. So that's a big tip, is just pound back some water as soon as you wake up. It's not going to affect your cortisol. It's going to give you a boost of energy. It's going to get, you get the pipes going in your stomach and stuff like that. So it's a great thing. Drink water as soon as you wake up. Wait 2 hours before caffeine. Work towards replacing coffee. By asking for help in our one-on-ones, of course, but also reviewing the unit in classroom. I still tell my clients to have decaf if you want. People will be like, "Oh, there's caffeine in that." It's such a small amount that if you were drinking 6 cups of espresso your whole life and now you have a decaf cup of coffee, I think you'll be okay. It's like negotiating the terms. Is it going to keep you from binging and having the real thing down the line if you're able to taste coffee and have the creamer you want and still have the experience of coffee? Yeah, then I think it's worth the very negligible amount of caffeine. I don't like to deal in extremes. I don't think that's sustainable. So just try and talk to me privately if you want to make it a goal of yours. So caffeine is one thing. Screens. Our screens emit a blue light. Now, like TV, not TV, computer, phone, tablet, etc. It used to be that on the iPhone, they had the night, like the little night light feature or whatever the hell it was, like night mode. I loved it. And it was like a yellowish tint that it would turn into instead of the blue. They got rid of that, whatever. I think there are certain screen protectors that you can actually buy that block out Blu-rays. There's glasses you can buy that you can put on that block out the Blu-rays. But if you don't want to go into any of that, just set forth a time for yourself that you do an hour minimum, 2 hours if you can, no screens before you want to fall asleep. Now, before everyone's like, oh, what? Remember that we did that growing up, that there was like a whole life of a lot of people who didn't have phones before bed. It's doable. You know what it might force you to do though? Self-care. Because those of you who are saying, I don't have time for daily self-care, and yet the thought of not having your phone for an hour before bed, what are you doing during that hour? On your phone. You can definitely transition that over. Watch Netflix if you want. If you want it to be an hour of watching your favorite show, just make sure you're comfortable, try to relax and unwind and stuff like that, but do it. If it's, you want to paint, you want to draw, you want to, I don't freaking know, anything that's not a screen, just take some time to do your self-care. You want to do your lymph massage. You want to do a face mask. I mean, whatever it is you want to do. Just don't look at your screens for 2 hours, an hour at the minimum. Minimum, maximum, you know what I mean. So, bedtime routine and your morning time routine. These are huge and they take a lot to overhaul. So don't put this on your list of stuff to do if you are just starting out with all the other stuff. I would recommend that we work on bedtime and morning routine once you at least have a few of your food baby steps down pat. That being said, those of you who are at that point, besides the no screen time, have your phone charging in a different room. So this way, it forces you to get up and get dressed and get out of your bed, maybe even make your bed before going and getting your phone. This is not like the end all be all of alarm clocks. You can get an alarm clock at the dollar store. Okay, you can set your TV to turn on at a certain time. Where there is a will, there is a way. But definitely charge your phone in a different room. That might help you with screen time as well. Because if it's somewhere else, then you don't got to use it. I'm curious how many of you are just going to buy the damn glasses and call it a day. But I figured I'd give you some free tips. If not, you can Amazon the blue screen protector or glasses. iPhone still has the yellow light. I don't have it on mine. Shut up. You just changed my life. Wait, I've been missing that night mode for so long. I just have do not disturb. I don't know. You want to text me? I want, if so, I've been missing it and complaining like an ass. So, in the morning, a good routine for you is if you do your affirmations, maybe say one as soon as you wake up. Pick a morning affirmation that you woke up and that's the one you say. Drink your water. Take your time getting out of bed. Maybe give a little stretch. I mean, take your time, take 10 minutes. But, don't bum rush into your bathroom. Actually try your best to wake up a little slowly. Give it a good stretch. Here's a tip that you guys are going to think I'm nuts for. Try to smile. As soon as you wake up, when you're doing your stretches, you're going to feel like an idiot. But just try in the beginning to close your eyes and give a genuine smile. I don't think anyone's going to be staring at you as you do this, so who cares? And even so, who would be annoyed by you smiling? So wake up, do your stretches, leisurely get up, try to smile. Remember, your morning sets the tone for your day. So if you wake up oh my God, there's not enough time, that's how you're going to feel all day. And that's not even productive, honestly. So keep that in mind. I'm not going to load you with any more info because I know I have gabbed on and on and on. Let me see here with the comments. Click hard on the brightness. It's the middle option. Yeah. That's awesome. Hold on. On the brightness. Wait. I think I did it. Yvonne saved the day. I love you guys. You guys always keep me fresh and young. So now I don't have to harp on and on about it. I still say, for the sake of stress, don't be on your phone before bed. Try to decompress. I think it's going to be very helpful. Crap, I had one more. Nothing stressful before bed. Don't look at your schedule for the next day right before bed. Try to guard that bedtime for your decompression. That's your decompression period. Okay? Don't watch anything. Those of you who like to fall asleep with a Netflix serial killer drama, if you like it for the entertainment value, I'm not here to judge you, and you can handle it, go forth. But if you're new to like true crime dramas, don't decide to pick it up as your self-care right before bed if you've never watched any before. Yeah. Those are the tips I have for you guys. If you are confused at all, I want you to text me. Remember, if you are new, we are working on your baby steps together. This is just something to keep in mind and see if you can make adjustments to it as you go. Love you guys. Let me know if you have any questions at all. I hope that this helped. You know I love feedback. I'm a big feedback queen. So let me know what you thought. Okay? Enjoy your night.